girls, look at this. 40 and fabulous.
What did you eat when you were heavier? Is the result more from the food or the exercises?
Okay, so by heavier, you mean this photo that I was showing from 2008. The result is definitely from food, definitely. Now, the photo that I showed from 2008 was me eating a standard diet of meat, dairy and eggs, lots of processed food and a lot of alcohol. This is my heaviest weight, and we technically don't know exactly how much I weighed, but we're gauging it was, we've always said 55, but I think it was probably around 53 to 55. I don't know, we never weighed ourselves back then. That was the heaviest I've ever been and the most unhealthiest. Now, I did not come to the high carb vegan lifestyle with that weight. I lost that weight before I even went vegan, because you can gain weight or you can lose weight on any diet. It's called calorie restriction. At that weight, I ended up in India, or we ended up in India. We were living in an ashram where it was a vegetarian diet, but it was actually vegan. And calorie restriction, the meals were small. There were 2 meals a day. I was always hungry, and that weight just fell off. Plus we started doing yoga there, so twice a day, long sessions. So we lost the weight. And
Like most people do, through under-eating and exercising.
that's right, yeah. So what that photo shows is that if I continued eating and living that way as I was in 2008, I would have just continued to get bigger and more unhealthier, as we have found a lot of our
Contemporaries or people in our lives at that time have done so?
Exactly. So that's an example of where the direction I was heading in. 9 years later, you can see the difference with making dietary and lifestyle changes. So from 2008, we then went vegetarian and then eventually vegan, and our weight yo-yoed over the years. We went up and down. We did a lot of fasting and cleansing, basically starving ourselves. My lowest weight was 39 kilos. Really, really bad. So, and then we regained, and it just went on and on. We came to the high carb vegan lifestyle in late 2013, and we actually didn't have weight to lose. We had excess body fat, especially around the belly. That's where we store it. We've always been skinny fat, so we wanted to lose that fat and we wanted to tone up and get really lean. So then we came to the high carb vegan lifestyle in late 2013, and because we were eating way more calories than we needed to, and we were not exercising enough for those calories, and a lot of those calories were coming from more processed foods, as we just said, we did gain some weight. Now, from that point, it's been a journey, right? We transitioned to more whole foods, and we also started to increase our exercise. So that made a big difference in 2015 and 2016. Now, I know that it's the food rather than the exercise, because this year, 2017, we've done a lot less exercise than we were doing in 2016. And yet, the weight is kind of just falling off without us intending to. I'm down to, I think, about 44 kilos.
With a BMI of 19.
BMI of 19, and you're down to?
71 kilos with a BMI of 20.7.
And we're not trying to lose weight. It's
No.
just happening naturally. Now, in 2016, we were eating more calories, but we were also exercising a lot more. We were cycling up a mountain 3 times a week, and that took an extraordinary amount of fuel. So what we were putting in, we were burning. Now this year, yes, we are eating fewer calories than last year, but we're also doing a lot less. The cycling that we showed in our previous video, nothing compared to that mountain. So our energy requirements are different. But you know, we started to get comments late 2016 saying, oh, you guys are really leaning out. What are you doing differently? It just kind of kicked in. There's also time on the lifestyle, whole foods, consistency, as we always say, keep the exercise up, and finally the results started to show.
I do exercise 6 times per week, 30 to 60 minutes, and if I cycle, it is longer. Is that enough?
That totally depends. Do you want to become a professional athlete, or are you just, you know, getting fit and healthy like regular people? So we're often asked, is this enough exercise? That totally depends on what your end goal is. Now, obviously for the average person, yes, that is fantastic. And what we will say is that anything you do is better than nothing. So if you can only get 15 or 20 minutes in, then that's better than doing nothing. 30 minutes is better than 20. 60 is better than 30. And the science says that 90 minutes is optimal. Yeah. So whatever you can do is great. But yeah, 6 times a week, 30 to 60 minutes is fantastic. This is a question for Luca. You can read your question and answer it too.
Hey Luca, you're looking too thin, man. What is your BMI? Completely understand this question and comment. We get it quite often. And yeah, I mean, for many people, I do look too thin. And that's because we live in a predominantly overweight society where obesity is an epidemic. So someone with a normal BMI or quite a BMI in the lower end of the normal range, does look thin, relatively speaking. For my own sort of goals, if you like, I'm into running, I'm into cycling, and so sort of being thin and having a lowish BMI really helps me with those two pursuits. If I was looking to be a vegan bodybuilder, then I'd be looking at myself going, man, you're pretty thin there. And look, I'm eating as much as I can. I eat 3,000 calories, and because they're coming from predominantly whole plant foods, it's very hard for me to eat more than that from whole plant foods. If I introduced more processed foods, I could, but I don't want to for my own health.
And actually, that's what
And
happens.
also, I'm not aiming to be a vegan bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And also, I wouldn't be eating the macros that I'm eating if I was aiming to get swole. I eat predominantly sort of like
I'm imagining you swole.
80% carbs, 10% protein, 10% fat. Vegan bodybuilders tend to eat more like 50 to 60% carbs and 20 to 25% protein and fat. So if you want to get swole, you don't eat like me.
No.
If you want to get lean because you like running and cycling and cardio, then yeah, maybe you consider eating like me.
Yeah, and the other, I will mention that when we first came to the high carb vegan lifestyle, as we said, we were eating a lot more processed foods, and you were able to get in about 4,000 calories every day, so 1,000 more than you're eating now.
Yeah.
That's the difference between whole foods and more processed foods.
And I'd say I was probably going to the gym more often then than I am now.
Yes, and that was the biggest you've been as a vegan, like
Yeah.
solid. In fact, I think
Ever,
ever in your
yeah.
life, kind of having more size. So
Yeah.
that's the difference.
And the last part of the question, what is my BMI? It's 20.7. How long did it take you to get to a healthy weight from the picture? I've been eating a plant-based vegan diet for 3 months and I haven't lost any weight. I have 30 pounds to lose and I'm 5 months postpartum. The weight is just not coming off and I'm getting very discouraged.
And here's where we crack open Pandora's box and everything comes out. This is such a detailed question. The first part, how long did it take me to get to a healthy weight from the picture? I'm assuming you mean from the 2008 picture. As I said, it's been a journey of vegetarian to vegan to processed vegan to more whole foods.
With a lot of fasting and all over the shop.
Yeah, really, as I said, we saw major changes towards the end of 2016, and 2017 was like, whew, streets ahead, even though we're doing less exercise. So we're trying to set an example, guys. What we're showing you is what we're saying works for us, of course. We're saying whole plant foods as much as you can, not exclusively, because no one eats exclusively whole foods. Enjoy a pasta every now and again, go out for some noodles every now and again, that's fine. But when we were eating more of those foods, we weren't getting the same results. Be consistent with your exercise, okay? Something, as much as you can. Drink a lot of water. Get early nights and good sleep. Rest your body, that's also very important. So all of these things...
Minimize your stress levels.
Yes. All of these things make up health. All of these things will start to balance your hormones, will start to relax the body, and eventually we found the weight just comes off. Okay, so consistency is key and routine is key. You want to get your body into it. We switch off. We don't even think about, oh, it's Tuesday, what are we eating today? What are we doing today? Will I do exercise? It's Tuesday, this is the schedule. Tuesday cycling day, for example, whatever. We get into routine. You wake up, you have your water, you go on your cycle, you come back to your oats and bananas. Your lunch is a whole grain and vegetables and beans. And your dinner's a potato dish with more vegetables and more beans. And it's just that beautiful routine. The body knows what's happening. We have found that is one of the keys to getting fit and healthy. And it goes, so basically it's not just what you're eating, okay? And it is time as well. So this person's been doing this for 3 months. That's nothing.
Especially relative to perhaps how they've been living for the rest of their lives.
Yes. Yeah, and everybody's going to be different. We have people sending us these messages all the time, and we don't know anything about your personal situation. Do you have a health condition, or are you on medication that is going to impede your ability to lose weight faster than someone else? Have you had an eating disorder, or
Have
what's
you
the
otherwise
background?
restricted calories at any other point?
Yeah.
Exercise excessively, so on and so forth.
So many things. A lot of people say, oh, I'm eating whole foods, and then we have a look at what they're eating, and they're not eating whole foods. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are confused about that.
Yeah.
And somebody messaged and said, I haven't lost any weight, but they were going to bed between 1 and 3 in the morning. That ain't going to help your weight loss, because...
Well, sleep is critical for balancing hormones, particularly like ghrelin and leptin, the appetite regulating hormones. So sleep deprivation is one of the worst things for weight loss.
Yeah,
so you've got to get your sleep right, get the hydration right,
Yeah.
get the foods right,
Yeah.
get the exercise right, bring it all together, and it's got to work like a symphony.
Yes, and this is where you can't say it's been a few weeks, it's been a few months, it may even be a year or more. And you've got to focus on health. I feel good. Even if you've got excess weight that you still got to lose, if you're feeling good and healthy, that's where the mindset has to be. You're consistent with your routine, and this is just how you love living.
Yeah,
and
throw away the scales.
Exactly.
And eventually your body is going to, it's always striving for homeostasis.
Yeah.
You just have to give it the tools to get there.
Yes. So please don't be discouraged, because there are so many things to take into consideration, and it's the tip of the iceberg here. And that's why we wrote a health and lifestyle guide ebook with more details and more references. And there's a lot more than just what you're eating. And one of the main things is time and consistency.
I remember you guys being into yoga before. Is it still something you practice? How often? Could you do a yoga vid?
Okay, so yes, we're actually yoga teachers, and we practice for
4 years.
Okay, you remember everything. And we had quite a consistent practice for that time, plus teaching as well. We don't practice anywhere near that amount anymore. The reason is because we found that we didn't get the physical results aesthetically that we were after with just practicing yoga. And of course, this depends on what style of yoga you're practicing, what level you're at. If you're someone like Michelle, like Banana Blondie, then obviously you can get an amazing body doing the type of yoga she does, but there's a lot of body weight, kind of like almost calisthenics involved there. That's not our level. We've never been able to do that. We're not that flexible.
And I'm sure had we been able to do that, and had we been flexible enough,
Yeah.
then we would have achieved the physiques that we wanted.
Yeah, that's right.
But we were never practicing at that level.
No.
Were we not teaching at that level?
No,
So
yeah. So we found that we had to move into different activities like cycling and running and gym to get the kind of look that we're after and working towards. We do practice a little bit of yoga still, just really gentle stretching and flows. And yoga is fantastic. It's a really great practice for strength, for flexibility, obviously, to help build
bone strength, fascia strength, also to reduce stress levels and promote well-being.
Yeah.
Many benefits.
Yeah, so it is important to keep up a yoga practice. And yes, we do have a little yoga
Surprise?
little thing coming your way. Stay tuned. Next question.
Wow, Natasha, what a fit bod. Do you have any tips to reduce cellulite on bum? Not that you have any cellulite.
Well, look, everyone's got a little jubbly on the bubbly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little bit of cellulite. We got stretch marks.
Yeah.
You've always had stretch marks, even
yeah.
on your skinny bum.
Yeah.
So everyone's got something. We don't have anything specific to suggest for cellulite. Again, just the lifestyle of eating clean, focusing on whole foods, drinking enough water, moving the body. All of these things coming together.
And I'd also say a real heavy emphasis on building the glutes.
Yeah.
So doing squats, either body weight squats or squats with weights at the gym. I guess the more muscle you build in that region, the less fat you're going to have. So, and the less fat you have, likely the less cellulite you'll have.
Yep. And if you can't squat with weights, even something like just walking uphill or climbing stairs, anything to get the lower part of the body really moving is going to help.
I was wondering if you have any plans or goals. Getting fit was sure one, and for me, you achieved that. Or do you want to run a marathon, or is it just to stay as fit as you are now?
That's a great question.
It is.
And I think if you asked us this, a couple of years ago, we would have said where we're at right now was our goal. But when you reach that goal, I think you always start to look for further and further. And that's great, like just to keep motivating yourself to achieve more. You actually reached a goal recently.
Yeah, well, we've been aiming to run a half marathon. We were going to do it in a race, but I was feeling good when I was out on my run the other day, and I'm like, I'm just going to go for it, and I did it.
Yeah.
But we're both working towards running in our first half marathon race at the beginning of next year, if injuries permit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the intention, and we still got some of that good old belly fat that we're trying to get rid of.
It's the hardest place to lose it, the belly, I think.
Hangs on.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will have watched the previous video go, where is the belly fat? But it is there. And, you know, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach and you've gone to the bathroom and you're running and it's the right light and you're sweaty, everything looks great. But trust us, there's still excess fat there. And
we know it'll go in time if we continue applying the principles of this lifestyle consistently, as it's, you know, seems to have gone elsewhere on the body.
That's right. And I think you can never compare your beginning to somebody else's middle as well. That's a really important thing to consider. So
because comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, wherever you're at, you've got to look at what your goals are and then work towards that and then maybe extend those goals.
The most important thing is not to strive to be like others, but rather to strive to be the best version of yourself. Simply being a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday.
And, you know, for us, we always look to people that are achieving more, and we strive to always improve. So even though you might be striving to get to where we're at and think, how can you not be happy with where you are? We are very happy, but we also want to strive a little bit further.
Yeah, like, you know? And to remember that happiness is a journey, not a destination. So we're happy where we are right now. And it's not that we're thinking, oh, when we achieve this particular physique or this particular physical accomplishment, then we'll be happy. No. We're happy right now, but we've just got some goals that we're, you know, happily striving towards.
There's definitely more work to do on the body. It's not almost, I wouldn't say nowhere near where we want to be, but there's a lot of work still to be done. And I have to say, I want to be able to show, you know, the young 20-year-old paleo calorie restricting girls out there that are shredded. I want to be able to go, girls, look at this, 40 and fabulous. I don't know, I just think as we're getting older, we almost like the drive is stronger. It's like you still got it. In fact, we never had it. So that's the thing. We never had this. And it feels really good to have it at our age and to infinity and beyond. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much the last question. Last question. Thank you so much for watching once again. Hope you enjoyed part 2.
If you have any more comments or questions, leave them down below. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
And please remember to ding the bell and check the box so that you'll get a notification saying TVC have uploaded a new video.
And remember, until next time, guys, that going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.